In today's broadcast, we will talk about unraveling of Greensill Capital and supply chain financing. Picture this: you own a supermarket, but you're running short of cash. You have to stock new items, but your suppliers are seeking better payment terms. They're expecting you to come through, but business isn't blooming and you have no money. So, what do you do? Well, there are many things you can possibly do. But one way to come out of this crisis is to avail the services of Greensill Capital. For the unknown people, Greensill Capital is the largest non-bank provider of supply chain finance, or commonly known as SCF. Their job is to pay suppliers on your behalf. And it's not like they are doing it out of goodwill. They simply have different incentives. For instance, most suppliers don't expect to be paid the moment they ship goods. That's not how businesses work. Instead, typical payment terms with suppliers could last 60 to 90 days. They will generate an invoice and you will pay them at the end of this term. However, if your suppliers still want to be paid early, then you could call on Greensill Capital. Greensill will offer to pay the suppliers before the respective due date if the suppliers are willing to take a small discount. So, Greensill will pay your suppliers ahead of the time and you won't have to worry about those annoying little people anymore. At least not until the invoice is actually due, at which time you are obligated to pay the entire amount to Greensill instead, since the suppliers have already been paid. Bottom line, Greensill settles the invoice at a discount ahead of the time and collects the full amount when it's due. And while you would think that Greensill makes the money by pocketing the difference, that's not entirely true. See, when Greensill is promising businesses that they would pay suppliers on their behalf, there is an implied assumption that the Greensill has the money. Where do they get the money, you ask? Well, they raise the funds from the outsider investors and they promise to pay a net diff return as well. So Greensill only takes a small cut here and forwards what's left of the difference promptly to its investors. It seems like a nice arrangement. However, incentives can turn unreasonable rather quickly. If you're a business right now, you're thinking you can negotiate terms with your supplier. You could tell them you will pay after a whole year also. They wouldn't mind it at all. After all, Greensill pays them ahead of the time. And look, when you owe money to suppliers, it isn't classified as debt or debt. Instead, it is classified as trade payables. If somebody were evaluating your business, they would look at the debt column and see a perfect enterprise. However, an obligation is obligation. And if you're using an intermediate institution to dupe the unsuspecting investors, then you are likely trying to game the system altogether. In fact, many experts have likened SCF to throwing a life jacket to someone who is just thrown overboard. They are born to act recklessly. They will almost certainly push boundaries. And who do you think suffers when the whole scheme unravels? Of course, Greensill. But that's not entirely true either. Greensill didn't raise just money from the outside investors. They got the likes of Credit Suisse and GAM to fund their risky proclivities. Credit Suisse and GAM in turn convinced their customers to invest in risky funds and funneled this money into Greensill. This way, the risk were ultimately borne by the unsuspecting investors who were duped into thinking these were safe investments. After all, Greensill's funds were backed by invoices generated by reputable businesses. Surely they wouldn't default on their obligations. Actually, they would. In fact, as the pandemic unraveled, it became apparent that multiple businesses were struggling to pay Greensill what they owed. And as they started defaulting on their obligations, the invoices were being shown for what they were truly worth. Not a lot. Take for instance the infamous case of GFG Alliance. The company relied heavily on the likes of Greensill. But when the Greensill decided to pull the plug, they suddenly became struggling. Soon GFG started defaulting on their obligations, including the obligation made to Greensill. So if GFG fails, it would threaten some 35,000 jobs across Europe. Then you have SoftBank, a company that invested around $1.5 billion in Greensill, only to see it wind down to zero. What's more fancy about the whole thing? After Greensill raised money from SoftBank, Greensill actually went on to finance startups backed by SoftBank. The conflict of interest is totally visible. Anyway, Greensill's failure has now cast a dark shadow on what was a thriving enterprise: supply chain financing. And as the plot begins to unravel, people's concern about the SCF, supply chain finance, will only magnify. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Please do join Conchilla and get your dose of latest, most important financial developments delivered in plain English and Marathi.